Have you ever felt like someone in your life is quietly draining your energy, leaving your heart heavy and your mind burdened? On life's journey, we meet all kinds of people, some who bring light and joy, and others who make our soul feel barren and lost. These encounters are not always easy to recognize, but they shape our well-being in profound ways. Let me tell you a story about an oak tree and an ivy plant. In the heart of a quiet forest, a strong oak tree stood tall, offering shade and comfort like the cool side of a pillow. The oak's branches stretched wide, and it prided itself on being the chill hangout spot for all the animals. One day, a tiny ivy plant showed up, all innocent and green, slowly creeping up the oak's trunk. "Hey, it's just a little vine," thought the oak. "What's the worst that could happen? Maybe it'll make me look even cooler." Weeks passed, and the ivy kept climbing higher, like that friend who stays over and slowly takes control of your entire couch. The oak started feeling tired, its leaves drooping like it just pulled an all-nighter binge-watching forest dramas. "What's going on?" it wondered. But the oak didn't want to admit that the ivy was draining its energy like a sneaky Wi-Fi hog. The animals began to notice. "Hey, oak tree, why do you look like you've been through a windstorm?" asked a passing squirrel. Just tired," mumbled the oak, still in denial. Meanwhile, the ivy was chilling on the oak like a lazy roommate, offering no rent and stealing all the nutrients. One evening, as the sun was setting, a wise old owl swooped down from the oak's highest branches. "Hey, oak tree," hooted the owl. "I hate to break it to you, but that ivy? Yeah, it's basically the clingy friend who won't leave your party. You need to shake that thing off, or you'll be leafless before autumn hits." The oak hesitated. "But it's been with me for a while now." The owl rolled its eyes. "Seriously? It's wrapping you up like a burrito, and not the good kind." Realizing the owl was right, the oak gave one mighty shake, as if trying to get rid of a stubborn itch. The ivy fell off like a guest who overstayed their welcome, and suddenly the oak felt a rush of relief. Sunlight poured over it, and its leaves perked up faster than a tree on its second cup of coffee. The animals cheered, and the oak sighed in relief, thinking, "Why didn't I do this sooner?" This story shows that sometimes, even in nature, you've got to shake off the things, or vines, that suck the life out of you. And when you do, you'll feel as free as a tree, finally getting some sunlight and space to breathe. Let's dive in, starting with the first powerful sign that it's time to move on. Number 1. Consistent lack of respect. Respect is the cornerstone of any healthy relationship. In Stoic philosophy, it is viewed as the foundation upon which all human interactions are built. When respect is lost, it isn't just a sign of the other person's disregard for you. It's a reflection that the relationship itself may no longer be worth your time or energy. Imagine this. Every word you speak is brushed aside, your feelings constantly dismissed. That subtle yet persistent disrespect doesn't just hurt in the moment, it chips away at your self-worth. Over time, you start to doubt yourself, wondering, why do I let others treat me this way? This is the moment to stop and reflect on your true value. As Jesus taught, love your neighbor as yourself. That means love and respect must begin with you. If you can't respect yourself, how can you expect others to? The lack of respect in any relationship speaks volumes about the other person's character, but more importantly, it raises a question about your own self-awareness. Ask yourself, do I deserve to be ignored, disregarded, or insulted? Without respect, a relationship will slowly become a weight that pulls you down, causing you to lose faith, not just in others, but in yourself. This is when you must seriously consider cutting ties. The longer you stay, the more this disrespect seeps into your soul, eroding your confidence and sense of self. Disrespect isn't just a problem of the present, it carries consequences far into the future. Many people have left relationships they once cherished because they realized too late that they were no longer being treated with the respect they deserved. Now pause and ask yourself, can I continue to live in a relationship where respect is absent? Or do I deserve connections that uplift me and bring genuine value? The choice is yours, and sometimes the greatest act of self-love is walking away from those who refuse to see your worth. Number 2, lack of trust. Have you ever found yourself unable to fully trust someone, no matter how close they seem? In Stoic philosophy, trust is the cornerstone of every relationship, whether it's with family, friends, or colleagues. Without trust, the foundation of the relationship starts to crack, and eventually it becomes impossible to continue without causing harm to yourself. Imagine working in an environment where you can't trust the people around you. Every time you share a new idea, it's either stolen or twisted. You begin to feel anxious, constantly on edge, wondering if someone is plotting against you behind your back. A powerful example of this is Steve Jobs, the legendary founder of Apple. Despite his brilliance, he was once ousted from his own company due to a breakdown in trust with those closest to him. Though he eventually returned and triumphed, the experience of losing trust left a lasting mark on his career. As Jesus once said, "A house divided against itself cannot stand." Trust isn't just about believing someone's words, it's the quiet confidence that they will protect you, even when given the opportunity to hurt you. If you're feeling a lack of trust in your relationship, ask yourself, do I truly trust this person? Do I feel safe sharing my thoughts, my hopes, or my fears with them? If the answer is no, it might be time to reevaluate the relationship. Protect yourself by nurturing connections that are built on honesty, peace, and steadfast trust. Removing relationships that lack trust doesn't just bring peace. It creates an environment where mutual respect and loyalty can thrive. Imagine living a life where every relationship around you is a source of strength, not a source of fear or uncertainty. We've reached the halfway point in today's lesson, and your participation is what keeps us motivated to bring the wisdom of Stoic philosophy to more people. So if this resonates with you, like and share this video with your friends and loved ones, or drop a comment saying, "I cherish my life," if you're ready to continue this journey with us. Number 3, negative effects on mental health. Have you ever wondered why you feel emotionally drained after every conversation with a certain person? In Stoic philosophy, the mind is viewed as our most sacred fortress, a place to guard and protect. When someone repeatedly sows seeds of negativity, filling your thoughts with anxiety, stress, or even depression, it's an unmistakable sign that this relationship is quietly destroying you from the inside. Mental health isn't just the absence of illness. It's about experiencing a deep sense of peace, joy, and emotional balance. Let me tell you a story. I once knew a woman who was trapped in a toxic relationship. Each day she woke up with dread, uncertain of what criticism or harsh words would come her way. Over time, her once bright spirit dimmed. She lost her laughter, her sense of joy, and ultimately, her confidence. This relationship didn't just harm her emotionally, it pulled her into a deep depression. But once she found the strength to leave, she began to heal, slowly regaining a peace she never thought she'd feel again. As Jesus taught, love your neighbor as yourself, but ask yourself this: is it truly love if a relationship only brings you pain, fear, and insecurity? If you're allowing yourself to remain submerged in suffering, are you really showing love and respect to yourself? It's time to reflect. Is this relationship nourishing my mental health, or is it draining me, leaving me weaker each day? If every interaction leaves you feeling exhausted, it might be time to protect your mind and soul. True strength isn't found in enduring endless suffering. It's found in knowing when to let go. Before we move on to the next powerful sign, let me ask you this. Have you ever felt lost in a relationship, realizing the other person doesn't share the same core values as you? In Stoic philosophy, our life values act as our compass, guiding the choices we make and the path we walk. When two people's values don't align, the relationship becomes a constant source of conflict and discord. Let's dive into that next, as we continue on this journey to becoming the best versions of ourselves. Number 4. Persistent selfish behavior. In life, we often find ourselves in relationships where selfish behavior becomes a painful pattern. As followers of Stoic philosophy, we must ask ourselves, when do our patience and tolerance become an unnecessary burden? Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "If you are pained by external things, it is not they that disturb you, but your judgment of them." This reminds us that if we choose to stay in a relationship where the other person is solely focused on themselves, we are setting ourselves up for heartache due to misplaced expectations. Selfish behavior doesn't just erode trust, it deeply wounds the soul. Imagine having a friend or loved one who consistently demands your attention and care, but never offers anything in return. They prioritize their own needs while disregarding your feelings and circumstances. Do you feel exhausted and drained after every encounter? In such situations, it's crucial to reflect. Am I neglecting the respect and love I owe to myself just to maintain this unhealthy relationship? Think about the times you've witnessed or experienced this selfishness. A colleague who takes credit for your work, or a partner who never listens to your thoughts. If you find yourself caught in such a relationship, it may be time to consider whether it's time to let go and reclaim your freedom and peace of mind. Communication is the bridge between people, but when it devolves into a tool of destruction, it fractures relationships and deeply impacts our souls. In Stoic philosophy, which emphasizes serenity, reason, and self-control, destructive communication is a clear sign that it's time to reevaluate the relationship. Ask yourself, is this relationship nourishing my spirit, or is it draining me? You deserve connections that uplift and support you, not those that leave you feeling depleted. By recognizing and addressing persistent selfish behavior, you empower yourself to choose relationships that are rooted in mutual respect and understanding. Let go of what no longer serves you and embrace the freedom to surround yourself with those who genuinely care. Number 5. Destructive communication. Destructive communication can take many forms: harsh words, insults, baseless criticism, or even the chilling silence that feels like a wall between you. Such words don't just hurt the listener, they reflect the inner turmoil and pain of the speaker. Have you ever felt the sting of someone you trust turning their words into weapons against you? The pain it inflicts can shatter your faith in the relationship itself. Consider the tumultuous relationship between Princess Diana and the British royal family. Her story is a poignant example of destructive communication in modern history. As a symbol of compassion and empathy, Diana faced relentless criticism, judgment, and pressure from both the royal family and the media. This constant barrage inflicted deep wounds on her soul and ultimately contributed to the breakdown of her marriage to Prince Charles. In a famous interview, Diana candidly shared, "There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded." This powerful statement encapsulates the isolation and heartache she experienced, even as she strived to make her relationship work. Destructive communication pushed her to her breaking point, prompting her to distance herself from the royal family, a choice that many believe allowed her to reclaim her peace and freedom in her final years. From Diana's journey, we learn a vital lesson. While love, loyalty, and responsibility are essential in any relationship, we must have the courage to recognize when communication becomes a tool for harm. When it does, it's time to step away and protect your well-being. Just as Princess Diana chose to distance herself from toxic words and actions, you too have the power to seek peace for your soul. Reflect on your relationships. When communication feels more like a weapon than a bridge, it's essential to pause, reflect, and assess whether this relationship is still worthy of your time and energy. Jesus taught us the importance of compassion and forgiveness, but he also emphasized the necessity of loving ourselves. Don't allow toxic relationships to destroy your spirit. You deserve connections filled with understanding and support. Recognize destructive communication for what it is, and don't hesitate to reclaim your voice and your peace. Number 6, feeling constantly drained. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to sap your energy after every interaction? In Stoic philosophy, we are taught that maintaining a balance between the mind and body is essential to finding inner peace. But what happens when someone repeatedly throws that balance off? Let me share a common story. Andrew, a successful and ambitious businessman, once befriended a colleague, hoping their partnership would lead to mutual success. But over time, Andrew noticed a troubling pattern. After every conversation with this colleague, he felt drained, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Their talks were filled with complaints, negativity, and never any encouragement or support. Each encounter left Andrew feeling depleted, with barely enough energy to focus on his family or career. Andrew realized something important. This relationship was costing him more than just time. It was robbing him of his peace and energy. As Jesus once said, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Just as we seek rest when we're weary, we must also recognize when a relationship is draining us and have the courage to walk away. Protecting your energy and peace is not selfish, it's essential. Ask yourself, why do I always feel exhausted after interacting with this person? Does this relationship genuinely add anything of value to my life? If the answer is no, it may be time to reconsider whether this relationship is worth maintaining. Your time and energy are limited. These are precious resources that should be reserved for people and activities that enrich your life and uplift your spirit. Time is your most valuable asset. Don't waste it on relationships that leave you feeling empty and drained. Surround yourself with those who bring joy, peace, and support to your journey. You deserve companions who walk alongside you, helping you find meaning and happiness in life, not ones who weigh you down. Number 7, abuse of any kind. Abuse comes in many forms: physical, emotional, mental, and even financial. No one should have to endure such treatment. A powerful example of overcoming abuse can be found in the story of music legend Tina Turner. For many years, she suffered both physically and mentally at the hands of her former husband, Ike Turner. Tina was controlled, beaten, and manipulated to the point where she almost lost her sense of self. But eventually, Tina found the strength to stand up, leave that toxic marriage, and reclaim her life. Despite the immense challenges, she emerged stronger, a beacon of resilience. Her story, like so many others, reminds us that abuse is never acceptable, and enduring it should never be an option. As Jesus taught, you are all children of God, and you deserve to be loved. This means that no one has the right to harm you. When you realize that abuse has become part of your life, it's time to protect yourself and seek a way out. You have the right to live in peace, surrounded by respect, and no one should ever take that away from you. Ask yourself, am I enduring something I don't deserve? Am I willing to stand up for my dignity? If abuse is present in your relationship, it's time to find the courage to leave. Abuse not only chips away at your self-worth, but can make you forget who you truly are. Tina Turner and even Oprah Winfrey, who also endured abuse during their childhoods, are living proof that you can rise above these painful experiences and come out stronger. They've regained their power and self-respect, becoming symbols of resilience and freedom. You deserve a life free from abuse. By bravely standing up for yourself and refusing to tolerate harm, you will find true peace, dignity, and a renewed sense of self-worth. Don't let anyone diminish the light within you. Number 8. Absence of mutual accountability. A sustainable relationship thrives not only on love and understanding, but also on shared responsibility, commitment, and dedication from both partners. From a Stoic perspective, a lack of shared responsibility signals a disruption of balance and mutual support. If one person constantly bears the brunt of responsibilities, from minor tasks to major decisions, while the other remains indifferent, it creates an imbalance that can harm mutual trust and respect. Consider a real-life situation where you and your partner decide to buy a house together. If you're the only one managing finances, tackling issues, and taking care of the home while your partner just stands by, can trust and commitment truly thrive in such an environment? Stoic philosophy encourages us to reassess relationships where accountability is one-sided, as they can quickly become toxic, leading to dissatisfaction. Jesus Christ not only preached compassion, but also the importance of sharing responsibility in relationships. If your partner fails to hold up their end of the bargain, it's a clear sign that love and compassion are not being exercised correctly. Remember, shared responsibility is the bedrock of a sustainable partnership. If you find yourself shouldering all the burdens without receiving support, reflect on the teachings of Marcus Aurelius and Jesus Christ. We deserve love and respect, not exploitation or the burden of another's irresponsibility.